there they are. There's Megan Day and her husband. Burnt Fingers Barbecue. They are the Chop Grill Master Champ. They've won more awards than you can put on any table. There they are celebrating their victories. The key to barbecue is you got to know what you're doing, and you got to know how to do it, and you got to know how to time it, and these guys do it all perfectly. We've got a Today Special that is unlike any we've ever done before. I've been working in this business and here at the channel for about 20 years. I've never seen barbecue this good before, and we brought on all kinds of different barbecue. It is next level. And the thing with barbecue that you have to understand is that, and listen, you can go to a supermarket and you can buy some prepackaged ribs. You don't know where they came from. They usually don't use the best quality of meat. They hide it in so much sauce you can't even see it. It's tough as nails when you get it home. You got to recook it. Let me tell you about this barbecue from Burnt Fingers. Everything is done for you. All the seasoning, all the slow cooking, the smoking, everything is done. And also, you are getting full-size racks. Each rack is almost 2 pounds, or about 1.75. You have your choice of 2 racks today or 4 racks. The 2-rack pack is $59. The 4-pack rack is $99. When I go, there's a barbecue place that's down the street that's pretty dang good barbecue that I get. For me and Danny, we spend $60 to $70 for the two of us every time we go there, all right? And we got to drive all the way over there and get it. We got to do all this other work. To get championship barbecue, this amount of it, 3.5 to 7 pounds of barbecue in baby back ribs at these prices is ridiculous. And y'all know what's going on with meat prices out there. They are going up and up all the time. And even if you went to a restaurant, I go to a decent restaurant for barbecue, like I said, and you sit down or whatever, it's a rack of ribs is anywhere from $28 to $35 for a really, really good rack. This is championship barbecue. All right, and the best ever. So what I want to do really quickly is I want to reveal what yours is going to look like, because you can heat it any way you want. I suggest you reheat it in the oven. I probably wouldn't put it back on the grill if only for a minute, because it is perfectly cooked and you don't want to dry it out. So take a look at under here. This we just reheated in the oven and we put it under some foil. And I want you to look at how absolutely beautiful this is. And I want you to look at the size of this rack. This is a big, meaty rack of ribs. It's not some little leftovers that they decided to fancy up and put in a bag. This is what you want to see when it comes to ribs, okay? And you can see it's already falling apart. That's what you want to see. And remember, you don't want it like pot roast. You don't want it to just crumble. You want a little bit of pull off the bone, and this is done perfectly. The perfect amount of char on the grill, the perfect sauce on top. And they're not going to be over sauced. If you like to bring in a little of your extra sauce for yourself, do that. I don't want it swimming in sauce. Traditionalists don't even put sauce on there. The purists, they just do salt and pepper, roast it, and they put it on the side. You can get 2 of these, or you can get 4 of these. Before Megan comes out, who's our champ of barbecue, before we do that, I want to break down what you can order today. If you want immediate shipment, you'll get these sent out right away. You'll have them in plenty of time for the 4th of July. Choose 2 of them or choose 4. I would get 4 because you can keep them in the freezer. They're completely sealed and packed up. They're ready to go. I plan on getting 4 right after the show, or you can do a 2-pack if you want to try them. If you want to delay your delivery, you can have them delivered on by July 20th, okay? A little bit later in the month if you want them for later in the summer. Both of those deliveries are available on auto ship, where you order one time and then you can sign up, and every 60 days you'll get either 2 more packs or 4 more packs depending on what you ordered. So it's so easy to do. Sign up for auto ship. You'll always have ribs every 2 months, which is that's about enough time for you to be able to be hungry again after you eat these, but you will love them. And the folks behind this, Megan Day is just an absolutely lovely, lovely woman her and her husband have so much skill when it comes to barbecue. When I make barbecue, it costs me $50, and I have to cook them over 8 hours. No work. Put them in the oven, put them out. Your family will love them, and you got enough for a lot of people. Let's introduce Megan Day. She's here. Here's the champ. Megan, it is such a pleasure to work with you, and I will tell you, best ribs I've ever had. Any restaurant I've been to, even my own, which I love, best ribs ever, and no work. Love it. Welcome into HSN, and great today's special.
Good morning. I think we should make breakfast ribs a thing. What do you think about that idea?
Ribs and eggs, I have no issue with that whatsoever, Megan. There's no clock here. We can eat or drink whatever we want. But these are really the best quality you'll ever see.
Oh, these are so good, tender, delicious, moist, and they've got sauce in the bag with them. And just like you said, if you don't want that sauce, just kind of slide the sauce off. If you do, put it in some tin foil, Stick it in your oven for about 30 minutes, and you will have the most beautiful, if you can see how tender and juicy and delicious, and really just, that's a lot of meat. That was just one bone's worth of meat right there.
Look at that.
Really amazing.
I don't think people realize how much you get with these 2 racks. It's a lot of food. So if you are getting 2, good for you. If you're gonna plan on a 4th of July party and you don't wanna do that part of the cooking, whenever I have a big holiday like that, Megan, I don't do things like barbecue ribs because it consumes my entire day. And here's the other thing, God's honest truth. By the end of my 8 or 10 hours of cooking barbecue, I'm really not in the mood for barbecue anymore because I've been smelling smoke all day. What's wonderful about this is
you smell like it.
Yeah, you're covered in it. What's nice about this is all you do is pop these in the oven, do it at a lower temperature, maybe 275 or 300, put a little water in the pan, right, Megan? That's the best kind of way to reheat it.
Absolutely perfect. That is the best way. That's exactly what we did. I got up about 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And and got these ready, and it really was that easy. I do really highly suggest putting just a little bit of liquid down in the bottom of that tin foil as you're doing a slow reheat, and especially if you're doing a fast reheat. If you're putting them in for 350, you definitely want to put a little bit of water in there just to keep the bottom of the bones and everything moist.
Yeah, look at, I mean, I can't look at this enough. This is just so beautiful. Look at how the meat pulls away, but yet there's still integrity to it, right? Like I said, you don't want to make pot roast out there.
It was sitting there, and then I just kind of have to lift it and twist it, and then there it goes.
Look at how beautiful that is. And you know what I love too about it?
Yeah.
Not fatty. I mean, the perfect balance of, because you want a little bit of fat, that's what pork is all about. But they're not fatty like, certain types of ribs, the baby backs are a leaner type ribs from some of the other ribs on the animals. So you really feel satisfied. They're not gonna be drippy, greasy. They're gonna be beautiful. You can combine them with anything. I like to do, obviously, coleslaw or a pasta salad with mine, but you can do beans, you can do rolls, you can do whatever. Here are the racks. If you order the 4 racks today, this is what you're gonna be getting. And I want you to look at how beautiful these ribs are, and you can see how gorgeous. Now, we would obviously bake these in the oven a little bit to get a little of that caramelization. You could even put them under the broiler. Just don't walk away when you put them under the broiler, because barbecue sauce has a lot of sugar, so you wanna make sure you don't burn them, but they are perfect top to bottom. I've got a rack over here, and I'll show you mine live, because our feed is a little bit better than Megan's Skype feed. First, what I'll do is I'm gonna hold this up and show you the rib itself. I'll actually cut it right down the middle there, and I'll grab this one and I'll show you, because I want to show you the entire thing. I want to show you top to bottom. And when you see under here, see that color of those ribs? That is what you're looking for. That deep caramel bronze color underneath. That's how I always know when my ribs are done. If it's a gray color, they're not done. This is perfectly seasoned and perfectly done. A lot of times what I will do is I cut them from the bottom, because it's easier to be able to see if you want to cut, where the ribs are, like that. But literally, you can use the back of the knife. I'm not even using the sharp side of the knife, and you can just go right in and you can separate these just like that. And you can see that meat, how it just comes right away from the bone like that. See how there's a little pull? You want that. You want to be able to bite off little chunks like that. And then look at the caramelization on the top of that. I mean, this is the perfect rack of ribs. If I was gonna make ribs, this is exactly the color I would be looking at. Megan, if you would you explain the process and what goes into making your ribs? Because I think people need to get, if they don't already have it, an appreciation for how much work goes into making these.
It is from the moment of sourcing that meat. We want baby backs, smaller bones, lots of meat. So we're gonna take those, make sure we trim them down so that when that rub goes on those bones, and you want that to soak down into the meat and get really delicious flavor inside the meat, that's the first step. Letting those ribs embrace that beautiful spice. Then, and I don't mean spicy, I mean onions and some lovely, there's paprika to give it some great color. There's a lot of great spices that go on top of the meat. Then we're gonna put it in the smoker for 6 to 7 hours, depending on how full the smokers are. And then that is when it's gonna drive in some more barbecue flavor. And then at the very last minute, we're gonna baste it with just a little bit of sauce to give it that mahogany color, and package them up they're going to ship right out to you. Easy. Put them into the freezer. You're ready to go. You can eat them right away or have a feast with all the ribs.
Yeah, this is what you're gonna get when you order the 2-pack. If you order 4, I should have worn a white shirt. There, that's a little bit better. But this is what you're gonna get when you order. And I will tell you, Megan, these are a big, heavy-duty rack of ribs, okay? Normally, you'll see a lot of rib companies that'll only do a half a rack inside the packaging. It's a way to kind of make them charge a little bit more for them. We're doing full racks, almost 2 pounds on each rack. If you were to, first of all, you would never be able to source this kind of meat from your regular grocery store because, you know, the type of meat that you pick and your source is very important. But what's wonderful about this is that Megan and her family have done all the work for you. All that meat has been sourced out. You're gonna get either 2 or 4. If you look over there, you'll see our prices again, and I'm telling you, from being in a restaurant business for 20 years, 2 racks of ribs cooked and ready to go for $59 is a steal. It really is. Because even if you try to do it yourself, let's say you could go out and you could find the ribs, and I usually spend $20 to $25 on a rack because I get a big rack of ribs and I get 2 of them. So I'm already at about $45 to $50 cost. I have not even salt and peppered them yet. I have not even smoked them yet. I have not wrapped them. You know, I take the silver skin off the bottom. I take that little layer off, all that. There is so much work. It is literally an 8 to 10 hour day. And let me tell you, the extra $10 you'll spend to have all that work done is worth it. But here's the big deal.
Brilliant.
When people, Megan, when people come to the house, because I haven't done it before because I refuse to serve my ribs unless they're perfect because it's such a labor of love. But a lot of people will go and buy and there's a couple of name brands out there that you know of that are in supermarkets, and I've gotten them, and they're always tough. They're coated in sauce, they're soupy. You've got to recook them for another 2 hours, even though they say heat and serve. But they're not, they haven't been cooked long enough. You can already tell that. No. Yours I can tell because these are right out of the package and we warm them up. They're ready to go. There's no extra cooking other than reheating. And the point I was trying to make was, when you serve these, your friends and family are gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is championship quality barbecue. And by the way, your team, 15-time state champions, first place American Royal World Series of Barbecue, not to mention the Chopped Grill Master champ. You know better than anybody how hard it is to achieve that level, and anybody that's watched a barbecue show knows how many qualifiers you have to go through, how many tournaments to become a champion. It's really hard, isn't it, Megan?
Yes, we kind of have a saying in the barbecue world that you earn your trophies at practice, but you just go to the contest and collect them. So it is a lot of work, and that's what we do. We practice. We have a backyard kitchen that we are constantly in developing and coming up with new ideas. And I want to talk about that a little bit because part of that development is the reason that we have the flavor on the ribs that we have for today. This is a honey barbecue sauce. And Kansas City is known for those rich, rich mahogany colors and that deep molasses flavor. But what we did was we said, you know, when we go out and we compete, those judges love a nice honey sweet. So we brightened up that flavor with some of that honey, and that is what's happening with these ribs and how tender and delicious. And you can see, just if you can look in there, that is flavor inside there. Deep down, it's flavor on top if you want, just a beautiful complement to that tender, juicy meat that we spent so much time to make sure was cooked right, because we know you're gonna get it home, and then you are gonna wow your table. And all you had to do was just order it. You didn't have to plan the whole day out.
Megan, I'm going in live, all right? I want you to see. So I just picked up,
love it.
Look at this one, all right? So again, look at the bottom. Remember that color, that is, see, I know from doing ribs for a lot of times, I know that's the color, and you do too. It's when this material becomes soft, because you know, the bottom of a rib is pretty tough, right? So when this actually can pull apart, and I will show you, look at this. Oh my gosh, and I wanna show you that. Look at that rib. Look at the meat that just comes right off. Now tell me you don't want to eat that piece right there. You know, we can't eat right now, but I want you to look, and then I want you to look inside. I don't know if you can see how juicy that meat is. I mean, that's the shot. Look at that. That is what you want. You want pull apart, tender.
That's beautiful.
Excuse my fingers, but I mean, look at this piece right here. Look at how deliciously beautiful. And remember, you're gonna get 2 racks of these. I know it's early. Do you hear me swallowing because my mouth is watering? I'm totally salivating. It's like Pavlov, I'm the dog, I can't help it. I wanna eat these so badly. You know, I have a bunch of friends that are up in Connecticut, and I know how much they love to celebrate. My buddies from high school, how much they love to celebrate the 4th of July. And I actually spoke to a bunch of them yesterday, and hopefully they're watching today, because I told them we had ribs on, and they're like, oh my gosh. You know, there's nothing better than ribs on the 4th of July. All right, you can do burgers and dogs too, but ribs, to me, ribs show you care. But the problem with ribs, again, Megan, they are a pain in the butt to make yourself. It occupies your whole day. These will be delivered to your door for the way before the 4th of July. So all you need to do is take them out of the package, put them on a sheet tray, put them in the oven and heat them up. If you want to finish them on your grill, you can do that, but you don't have to. All the grilling and smoking is done. All right, I just like to, I like to heat them because I like to get a little more of a burnt caramelization on the top. Just remember to put some water in the pan. Here's the offer. You get 2. Let me just tell you, all those of you who get 2, you're gonna wish you got 4. So I am trying to help you right now by saying get all 4 racks. Okay, you get 4 for $99. It'll be the best dinner party you've ever thrown. And this is enough. You gotta realize 4 racks for most people is enough for 8 people. All right, I can eat almost a whole rack. So can my son. So maybe, you know, but we're big guys. But for most people, you're gonna have plenty of food here. Go for the 4-pack if you can. I know it's burnt fingers if you haven't heard of them. State champs, national champ. They've won all the ribbons multiple times. And that is everything in barbecue. You know, if you go to a barbecue competition and you're a barbecue contestant, if your ribs are tough, they're not even gonna look at you. I mean, all of their ribs are tender. All right, because they pretty much have to be at that level. But then it becomes about smoke penetration and smoke ring and flavor and tenderness. And big one is having them be moist. You can go out and cook a rib and you'll dry that thing out in a minute, because when you think about it, a rib is shaped thin like that. The liquid just drips right out. So you have to know what you're doing, and these guys do. All right, $59.95 for the 2-pack, only $99 for the 4-pack, which is the one I recommend. You can get them delivered right now, so they'll get there in plenty of time for 4th of July. Or if you'd like to wait a little bit, maybe you got something else going on later in the summer. Remember, you can put them right in the freezer. You can get a July 20th delivery. Both those have auto ship available, which means every 2 months you will get those prices and you'll get them delivered, which is perfect. And here's another nice thing. When you get on auto ship, you know, when it's November and you're craving ribs, and it's cold as you know what outside, and you're not gonna go outside and grill, you can stick these things right in the oven and be good to go. It could be snowing outside, and you will still have ribs. So the delivery options are right on the screen there. As you see, ships July 20th, receipt by the 24th if you wanna delay it a little bit. I don't know about you, but I don't wanna wait. 4th of July, you know, maybe you wanna wait till end of summer, or you're having a party. Look at that shot right there. Do you see those ribs? Look at how beautiful. Here we paired them up with some of the mac and cheese that we have. I mean, Megan, I can't say enough about it. And honestly, everybody who knows me here knows how long I worked in restaurants, and they know, you know, that I am such a foodie. I watch all the barbecue shows. I watch, you know, all the, you know, the charcoal company that does the barbecue show. I watch Chopped. I watch all that stuff. And I will tell you, in all my years, best barbecue ribs I've ever had. These are, and I really make good ribs, but you know what? I'm using a box smoker, a little one. I'm not doing what you guys are doing. I have a little box smoker, and I use real chips. I soak them. I do the whole thing. I cook them for 3-4 hours, foil them, finish them in the oven. That's another 2-3 hours. I mean, I do all that work. For 2 racks of ribs, I'll do that. Where I will work my butt off all day to get what you did 1,000 times better, because I'm not championship, but what you did and delivered right to your door. It is, I mean, you're doing people a favor. You really are, because ribs, you know what ribs are, Megan?
Thank you.
Good barbecue is really hard, isn't it? It's hard to do.
It is really hard, and it's a lot of work, and we appreciate that. And you know, that's how we started. We started with a small smoker and kind of just found ourselves kind of wanting to know if we really could compete. And guess what? We could, and we did. And then now we're right up there with the world champions. So because it really is kind of a starter meat, you know, and people love to eat these. This is the favorite thing. Everybody's grabbing a couple of bones when they go eat at a picnic. And, you know, talk about 4th of July, super exciting. That is coming up anytime, just really, really soon.
Meg.
I love my memories of 4th of July.
Megan, look at that. That should be illegal. Look at that rib. Look at it. Look at how perfectly. See, and Megan, you know what I was talking about when I was talking about the bottom of the rib, that color you're looking for? You know what I'm talking about, right? That's where that.
It's beautiful, mahogany.
Yeah, and that's what allows that tougher, sinewy material to pull apart. Let me pull this one apart for you because I want you to look right here. That's where I want you to look. Look, watch. Come on. I should do the commercial.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right.
You should, and I see the beautiful smoke ring in there.
Yeah, you can see it. You're 100% right. You see right here on the meat, you see where it's a darker color. I just ran my finger over it though. But that is where, I'll pull it apart. There you go. And you can see the reddish color? That's the smoke penetrating into the meat. And you know, a lot of people make the mistake and they cook their ribs, they smoke the ribs for 8 or 10 hours. You're gonna be eating charcoal. You know, you have to know the timing with these kind of, it's all about timing. That's what barbecue really is, timing and preparation. And if you want to eat something like that, I mean, look at the crust on the top. I mean, it's unbelievable. Look at my fingers. Oh my gosh, I'm dying out here.
Hey, if you're not messy, you're not doing it right. That's what we say.
100%, 100%. Nothing messier. You know, I think the messiest meal on the planet has to be barbecue spare ribs and corn on the cob. I mean, it's just a mess, right?
Well,
but, go ahead.
And that reminds me, my favorite memories are from the 4th of July. I grew up in a small town called Larned, Kansas. They had the biggest fireworks display. Everybody just sat around and ate together. Hi to all my people out there in Larned, small town Kansas. But those are the memories that I have of my dad smoking ribs. And now here we are as a family, my husband and I, my 2 children, and we compete and we enjoy this, and we wanted to bring this to all of our friends at HSN. This is really exciting that it's a Today Special too, and great prices, holy cow. And the fact that you can get it shipped multiple, different times if your freezer's already full.
Yep.
Or you're thinking, oh, it's coming up, Labor Day's coming up, not too long from now, maybe I do want to have another rack of ribs or 2 in there. Being getting 2 or getting 4, the way they're packaged up, it's so great because it's a meal or it's a feast. You really have the option.
And I love that everything is done again. And remember I mentioned earlier about going to a barbecue place? That barbecue place I was talking about that I went to, I went and I got 2 pounds of pulled pork. The pulled pork was very good. I got the ribs completely dried out. And I said to myself, how does a barbecue restaurant dry out ribs? Well, it's that whole mass production thing. And not only that, when you go at a certain time of day, which I, unfortunately, and I should know better, I went at like later, way late in the day at like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and they closed at 8. And I got, you know what I got? I got ribs that were cooked in the morning, right? We're finished and ready to go. What you're gonna get is you're gonna get perfectly seasoned, perfectly cooked ribs. All you need to do is take them out of the package, put them on a tray, put foil down if you want to protect your pans from whatever, and then stick them in the oven at about 275 to 300 with a little bit of water and just watch them about every 15, 20 minutes. It's not, I'll be honest, I don't like to put them in for 5 minutes. I want to bring that smell back out. I want to let all the juices come out again. I want to give them a little time. Put them in a couple hours before you're going to serve them on a low temperature. If you're in a pinch, you can make them in 10 minutes. It's not a big deal, but I like the whole process of putting them in there, knowing I didn't have to do any of the work, and just letting them sort of re-roast. You know what I mean, Megan? That's how I like to do it. Yeah,
well, we're bringing that grilled flavor and smell right back into your own kitchen. How cool is that? I mean, that's what we've done, is we're cooking them to the exact point where we know it's time. That meat has given up and it's ready to be packaged and shipped out.
It's unbelievable. I'm gonna do one more, Kevin. I got to do one more, Megan. I got to open up because I love it. We're not really permitted to eat much with everything that's going on. We're taking special precaution.
I get it.
But I want everybody to get at least the tactile feel of what this is like to pull these. Look at, that is what you want to see with a rib. And remember when I was talking before about a little bit of give? That's what you want. You don't want it to be crumbly. You want it to be soft and tender. And I want you to look inside here. Do you see how juicy, how perfectly cooked this meat is. I love those little pieces like that. I just pop those right in.
Yes, the candy. That is the bark. That is the candy piece right there.
Look at this piece right here. I mean, would you not like to bite into that? Well, you can. In about a week and a half or so.
I want to.
You can bite right into that. You can be doing what I have here. I'm not even eating, but you can be doing that if you order this. I'm going to wipe my hands. I'm going to show everybody one more time, Megan, what we're offering.
I keep having to wipe my hands.
Look at this towel. It's tragic. Yeah. I should be licking all that off my fingers. Instead, I'm wiping it on a towel. But let me show everybody again what you're going to get. So when you order, you have your choice of a 2-pack or a 4-pack. I would get the 4-pack. If you've never tried it before and you want to try 2, I know you're going to be like, dang it, I should have got more than that. They will keep in your freezer. You can freeze them and keep them in there as long as you want, right, until you're ready to take them out. And I would, let them sit out, come to temperature in your fridge, and then you can reheat them in the oven. But they are good to go. Like I said, within minutes of after you take them out and put them in the oven, you're good. 2-pack or a 4-pack. The 2-pack is $59, the 4-pack is $99. I said before, if I was to make ribs myself, it would probably cost me about the same, but I got to put 8 to 10 hours in seasoning, and slow roasting and smoking, and tending the charcoal and the chips. And then I got to wrap them in foil and put them in the oven, not to mention the energy cost of all that. Everything is done for you. So one-time order, 2 or 4. You can get them delivered now, so you'll get them in plenty of time for the 4th of July. If you want, we're doing a July 20th ship, which will get them out to you on the 24th if you want them for a little bit later. You can order auto ship on either one, which means every 60 days you'll get another 2 or 4 racks. So you'll always have ribs in there. And you don't have to eat them all at once. A lot of people will cut them into and portion them out, so that you can do like a surf and turf. You could do a 1/3 of a rack of ribs and some grilled barbecue shrimp or a lobster tail. You could do that easily, Megan. You could pair this with anything.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do. I'll shred it down sometimes and put it on top of a macaroni and cheese to make it a little more zesty and delightful. I will take it and actually pull all the bones out, lay it on some French or some Italian bread, put some provolone cheese on it, some onion rings, drizzle it with sauce, and then you've got this giant sandwich because the bones just pull out. So you can use it like meat. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It goes a little further too.
Yeah, let me tell you, I'd throw that in, I easily chop it up, put in some mac and cheese, right? Or make a hoagie out of it, whatever. You'll never throw it away. It'll never go to waste, trust me. It is an amazing, amazing value today. And you could never replicate this for even close to the price, okay? What got me, and I'm being 100% honest, what got me is that you're doing the 2-pack for $59 and a 4-pack for $99 because I know how expensive the good quality ribs are. And there are a couple of stores, I won't shop in one store that's in my neighborhood for meat just because, or especially for ribs, their ribs aren't as good. They're not trimmed as well. They're lumpy. And you know as well as I do, better than anybody, I should say, excuse me, Megan, is that you want the consistency in the thickness of your ribs, correct?
Yeah, you do. You will have some natural ones. One end is going to be a little bit smaller just because of the way it is on the ribs.
Sure.
But really, they're going to be meaty where in between and on top. That's what's great about baby back ribs is you've got meat around and on top. Look how thick that meat is, if you can see.
Yes.
And then this little bone is right here. But that meat's just dancing right on top of all of that delicious sauce as well.
And I think that's what makes ribs so great is that, cooks on the bone. And anything you cook on the bone is going to have more flavor, whether you eat prime rib or whether you even get those big tomahawk ribeyes, or we actually have a store that sells the filet with the bone on it, which is just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
That is why you love ribs, and that's why they're so good. But remember, everyday ribs in the store down here, burnt finger is way up off the chart. If you don't care about the quality, if you just want to throw some food out there for your friends and you want to go and buy a $20 rack of soupy, tough ribs from the supermarket, I think it's a waste of money, totally. If you're going to do it right. And that's what this is about. And that's why we brought it out now near the 4th of July, because we're like you. Some of my best memories, Megan, same thing. 4th of July, when my pop was still here, and you know, we'd be out there on his deck, and there was a hot tub, and they'd be barbecuing. My father, you know, we lived near, we were up near Long Island Sound, so we'd have steamers and clams and ribs, and oh my gosh,
Yum.
Right?
It sounds awesome.
I know, isn't it great? And but to your point, it's about starting sort of and keeping tradition going. And I think ribs and barbecue, it's all about tradition and family and just having a great time. And it's so nice when you can spend time with your family instead of cooking all day.
So simple, right? You just pull these out of the freezer and you're gonna just have them ready in a happy, happy table so quickly because we did all the work for you. And or maybe it's just a Tuesday night and you just have a craving for some ribs. By all means, pull one of those slabs out and enjoy it. It'll be a couple of meals or feed several people. So it definitely is hearty if you want it to be.
The size of these ribs, like I said, a two pack of ribs will easily feed at least 4 to 6 people, all right? Or 2 really big guys like me and my son. Anyway,
hungry people.
Yes, Megan, you are a pleasure. I appreciate all your efforts and your team and your family. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers in your life. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again at noon. See you later, Megan. All right, everybody, we are going to step away. I'm going to wash my hands a little bit. We've got more great stuff coming your way, great items, but we'll be right back. Here's a little information from Marlo.